Hi, I'm Dan Q and I'm here to give you a whirlwind tour of some of the new Three Rings features coming in Milestone Parrett. The first new feature I wanted to show you is that news items can now have comments and reactions. It's up to the author of the news items whether or not comments are allowed, and of course this is all configurable by administrators from the admin tab, but if you do want them, then they look a little like this. You can leave comments on your news items, and either from the news items page or right from the overview page you can react to them as well. It looks like Jenny and Claire already gave a thumbs up to this training item. I'm going to give a thumbs up too, and down on this news item I'm going to give an angry face. The next new feature I wanted to talk to you about is the directory bulk edit mode. This is accessible from the directory by clicking the edit all button, and it lets you edit volunteer details in bulk, a bit like using a spreadsheet. So I can add Alan's new address in here, 1 Sum Street, Amanda's new telephone number, 01234 567 and Alex's new alternate email address, alex@example.net. You can make as many changes as you like. They're all tracked, and it says at the top how many are not yet saved. When I press save, it saves them all simultaneously. The third feature I wanted to show you is that a very popular request that volunteers should be able to, from the comms page when sending an email, send emails from their alternate email address. Rosie here can send email from her second address, rosemaryferry@example.net. Another new feature is that you can enable for your organisation the tracking via the overview and the rota of volunteer anniversaries for every whole year a volunteer has been with your organisation. You can see this up here at the top of the calendar alongside our training on feedback and supporting each other. It's going to be the first volunteering anniversary for Keith, the day before Tony's birthday. Next up, there's been a handful of improvements to the directory itself. In particular, we've streamlined the interface for editing, so it's a lot tidier. Another new change in the directory and in the stats is that the store charts will now give more information about the shift that they refer to. This icon on the store here shows that this shift was actually closed, but Alex here is still being credited for it in the store chart because it wasn't deleted and they weren't pulled out of the shift. When you're editing news items, comms, emails, or wiki pages, you'll discover that you're now able to set the font size for words, paragraphs, whatever you like. This was a popular request, and I'm surprised it took us this long to be able to do it. Next up, if you're using File Store Secrets, which lets you store secret information for use by multiple people in your organisation, protected by Three Rings permissions and controls, then we've made a few improvements to them too. Here's our organisation's Blue Sky account. Blue Sky is a social network, and we've decided to put the username and password here so that we can share it with selected volunteers in our organisation. They can copy it and put it into the login form. We also have long supported one-time passwords, so a second factor, like how we use a tool like Google Authenticator to generate a 6-digit code, and that, of course, still continues to work in here. There's my 6-digit code to log in right now. But the improvements that we've made are that this will no longer keep refreshing with new codes forever. It'll only do it twice, so it doesn't keep on flashing up new codes until you press refresh. And more importantly, we've finally managed to make it so that if you had two-factor enabled on an account and disable it, you can now delete the two-factor key and it'll stop generating second-factor codes for you. Next up, we've improved the as an administrator view of shifts. We've tried to make it clearer what each button does, and we've met a much requested suggestion that when you press delete this shift, it asks if you're sure before it just goes ahead and does so. Hopefully that'll prevent some mistakes. And finally, I wanted to show you that if you use text messaging in Three Rings, you can now, via the admin text messages panel for most providers that are supported, get a live count of how many text message credits you have left, so you can see when it's time to top up. Those are some of the exciting new features coming in Milestone Parrett. I hope that they're useful to you, and as always, we'd love to hear your feedback on them, or what else you'd like to see 3rings be capable of doing. Thanks.